Yo, what's good guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, where have you been, man? Subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to tap in with the family, man. We really appreciate you here. It's been a long time coming. Anyways, today I'm going to show you a cool little trick you can do to help make EQing your vocals easier, faster. You'll make less mistakes and you'll be able to hear it better. All that I can guarantee. And it's super simple. It's not some gimmicky trick or nothing. And I've never heard anyone else talk about it. So let's jump into it. All right, so I'll just spoil it right off the bat. The trick is to EQ into compression with the compression already set up. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate in this video of should you EQ before you compress before you EQ, whatever. You could do it however you want. This doesn't even need to be a permanent decision. But how we're going to set this up is we are going to set up the chain, the order of the vocal chain is going to go EQ into compression. But the order that we set it up in real time is going to be we set up the compressors first and then we EQ into it. So how this will look is we set up a compressor or two, multiple, however many you want, one, as many as you want. And then we put the EQ before it in the signal flow in the vocal chain. So this way the EQ is feeding into the compression. And this does a few things, which we'll jump into here and you can hear. Because tell me this has happened, right? You're EQing and you can't really hear what is changing because the vocal is drowned in the instruments. Or you EQ and you can hear it and you make it work, but then when you start adding compression, everything changes and it sounds different. Then you need to go back and EQ or EQ further, and you're just chasing your tail, working in circles here. This will help you avoid all of that. So let me show you how I got this set up. All right, so what I got here is just a little vocal, and I grouped the instruments. Nothing's mixed yet, but you can see how I have it set up over here. I have an EQ. Living in the city. We're just living in the city. And you could tell it was hard to hear what was happening, couldn't really hear a difference. So what if we set up some compressors after? I already set them up. Doesn't matter what you use or how you do it, that's a different discussion, but let's now EQ into those compressors. We're just living in the city. Oh, living in the city. Well, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard. You notice how it was much easier to hear what the EQ was doing? We were able to hear the changes easier. It's also in a more finalized state because the vocal is most likely going to be compressed. So we're hearing it with the compression and we're EQing into it. So we're going to hear how they react with each other. And the nice thing is we're in the digital domain. These are plugins. None of this is permanent. We can then go back and change the compressors. We could even just use placeholder compressors to EQ into, then remove them and do our actual compression however we want. But this is just a nice trick to help when you're EQing to be able to actually hear what's being done, because as you could tell in this example, the vocal was very buried because it wasn't compressed yet, right? That's just what happens, especially in more dense, modern production. So it's hard to hear what the EQ is doing. It's hard to hear the vocal, period. So get some compression going to get it in your face, and then we can hear the EQ. And also, you'll notice I did this on purpose. When the compressors were on and when they were off, the vocal didn't change level. Of course, you could use the compressors to get some gain and to turn the vocal up to make it easier to hear. That might have other setbacks for another time. We could talk about that. But I purposely, for the sake of this demonstration, I level matched the compression vocal versus the non-compression vocal. So it wasn't even like the vocal was louder. It was just more present and in your face and, easier to hear. So when we EQ it, we could hear it better. So there you have it, guys. A quick, easy little trick that you can do to help make EQing your vocals a little easier, because we all know that can be one of the most difficult parts of mixing, and it can be a, cat and mouse game of EQ and then you compress and then you got to re-EQ and then you got to change the compression settings, right? So it could be very difficult. This is a great way to make things easier, to save you time, and to stop chasing your tail when mixing. Short little one today. Hope that helped. If it did, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, name your firstborn child after me. I'd really appreciate it. My name is Inswain with Inswain Audio. Peace!